Hello everyone, this is Donna from MiniBooksRMe, and I am here today in my role as a Graphic 45 brand ambassador to bring you a really fun, fast, and easy Christmas card tutorial. So I wanted to find a way. I love beautiful Christmas cards. I love all the super fancy, there's some mind-bendingly stunning cards out there, but if you're like me, I don't have time for that. So I love looking at them, but if I plan on trying to make a whole bunch of those, it's never going to happen. So I wanted to find a way to come up with some really quick and easy cards that would still look really beautiful and that you would love to send out and send to your friends and family. But since you can make a whole bunch of them in a short period of time, and also not using a whole lot of product and supplies. So what I used for this was the Graphic 45 Joy to the World collection. It's their new Christmas collection. I used their background patterns and solids. I used one set of their chipboard pieces, and you can see most of them are gone. And then I used a package of their ephemera cards, which come in two different sizes, 3x4 and 4x6. And from this, I've made 12 cards. There is enough left here to make another 12. You just need to get a second set of chipboard, and you can have 24 cards for just one pad of paper, one package of ephemera cards, two sheets of chipboard, and you've got 24 cards, which is really amazing. And again, you can multiply from there, but super quick, super fun. So what I'm going to do is show you I've designed 6 cards and finished them, and then we're going to do the other 6 cards together, and I'm going to kind of show you how I figured it all out. I took 6 cards and I designed them, and then I just basically made a second set of 6 cards designed the same way, just substituting in whatever other pieces of chipboard and cards that I had. And then we're going to talk a little bit about other supplies and all that kind of stuff. So let me show you the cards that I made. So I made 2 different sizes. I made 3 cards that are the A2 size, which is like this. So A2, if you open this up, it is 8 by 5.5. So you score landscape or the long, at 4 and fold. Super cute. So I used 2 of the 3x4 ephemera cards. I cut one down, and we're going to get into all the sizes and stuff when we do the other ones. I double matted the back. I put a little bit of foam tape underneath the top here to give a little bit of texture, along with the chipboard piece, little gold brad there. When you open it up, the piece that I cut off of the bottom of this card, I added to the inside because, I could. So I also matted the inside of the card. And just for fun, I went ahead and I also decorated the envelopes. So each envelope has just a little bit of decor. We're going to talk about the best way to put those down. Yes, you can put these in the mail. So super fun. So that's the first A2 card. This is the second one. I did one in craft, and the other 2 in this size are in cream. Again, a little bit of foam tape underneath the back. This is one of the 3x4 cards. One of the chipboard pieces, 2 little brads there, double matted. Give a little extra color. Then on the inside, there's another mat, and then I cut a little piece out of one of the sheets, and we're going to talk about that too as a way to find extra little embellishments. And then for the envelope, I just added, and these are just scraps. These are just leftover scraps. Save them because you can decorate. Super cute. Isn't that going to be fun? So you get a fun little card and a fun little envelope, so it's cheerful right from the start. The third A2 card is, now this is a 4x6 card that I cut down to, I think, 3 1/4, and we'll go into all the sizes. Added a little bit of a border here, tucked it behind, put a little bit of foam tape behind it. Double mat, little piece of chipboard, and the inside is lined. Now the bottom part of this, there was this. So I cut this out and I added it in, and I left a little bit of a thing here in case you wanted to stick anything behind it. And if you're wondering about, putting your sentiments and stuff on the inside, they make the white gel pens. Those are really super cute that you can do if you want to write. These are also light enough that if you wrote on them in dark pen, you would still see your note. And you can also put another little cream mat here and write on that if you want to. But I thought it was just a fun way to use the extra paper. And then there's the envelope, the cute little thing. And you can put your address label here, address and put your stamp. Super, super cute. And then I did 3 of the A7 cards. And A7 cards are, I think the industry standard is like 5x7. So if you open it up, it's 10x7. These are pre-purchased cards and envelopes. So this one is actually 10x6.5. So the measurements are going to be accordingly. I know there's not a ton of industry standard. It's like this one is 8x5.5. And I think the industry standard is like 8.3 and 5 point whatever. So if you purchase your cards in packs, so we're going to talk about that too. Just you want to measure that against what my measurements are, and see if you have to adjust your mats accordingly. So I double matted this as well. This is one of the 4x6 cards. I think I trimmed this one down just a teeny little bit so that it would fit on the card. Added one of the big pieces of chipboard there, cut a little piece out and added the word joy. This one says joy to the world. And I matted the interior and also the envelope. Super cute. Okay, number 5. Love this card, so pretty. So again, double matte in the back with the gold paper and the green. Then one of the postcards. This is one of the chipboard pieces with 2 brads. I cut a little piece out of one of the papers and the little Merry Christmas out of one of the papers just to add a little bit more to the postcard. So much fun. Matte on the inside. And then here's your little kind of matching little envelope. And then the last one is a craft. I did one craft card in each size just so you could see what it would look like in brown. You could do them all in cream, you could do them all in brown. Double matte on the back, another 4x6 postcard, little foam tape under the top part. The bottom part's attached right to the card. I cut out another little stamp from one of the sheets. And I think this is also cut down just a teeny little bit to fit. And I'll have all the measurements for you. Another little card, little foam tape behind that also. Little chipboard piece with a brad. Open it up, it's matted on the inside. And then fun little envelope with the little glad tidings cut out of one of the sheets. Okay, so we're going to go through the other 6 cards, and then I'm going to talk about how I put all these together. All right, let's get these back in order because I got my other stack in order. So as I said, I made these 6. Here, let's look at them. Just put them all out here. All right, and you'll see how they match when I pull out the other ones. Are these all, can you see them all? Got my camera here. If I can get them all in the screen. So there they are, really pretty, super easy, really fun to make. Just double matte, put one of the cards on there, add a little chipboard embellishment, boom, you're done. Super fast. And again, that's a lot of cards to get out of just a few things without having to get a whole bunch of extra stuff. The only thing that I added to it was were the little gold brads. So a pack of those and you're good to go. All right, so the first card. So what I did was I made the second set of 6. This was the first one I did in craft. And I have all the stuff pre-cut for this. So this is the second one. So what you're going to see, I guess now that I've spread everything out, I have to not spread everything out. I'm so prepared. So, okay. All right. So your background mats for the A2 cards, the base mat is whoops, set this aside here, hold on, is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And that's going to go down first. We're going to go ahead and do that. Now I edged all my papers with Tim Holtz's Distress Vintage Photo. I'm going to show you how I did that in just a minute with the chipboard piece. I've already pre-inked these papers so you don't have to sit here and watch me ink a bunch of stuff. So that's going to go down first. And then the mat that goes on top, as you can see, all of these are double matted. So the base mat, again, 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then, which is a 1/4 inch shorter this way and this way than the card itself. So if the card is 4 by 5 1/2, then your mat is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. So you've shrunk it by 1/4 each way. Then you're going to shrink it by 1/4 again. So this top mat is going to be 3 1/2 by 5. And that is true for all 3 of the A2 cards. Okay. And again, all the measurements are going to be included in the little tutorial there. So you can refer to that. And this just goes centered right on top of the gold. Okay, so then I took 2 more cards like this and I cut this one down. So these are 3 by 4 to start. I cut this one, so this one is now 3 by 3 1/4. So I cut the bottom piece off. And on this one, the bottom piece on the back side was really cute, so I kept it and put it inside. On this one, the bottom piece was part of a tag and it really wasn't savable. So this one's not going to have the little piece on the inside, but you can see, so basically I tried to find things that were similar in pattern. So, and then I picked a little tag piece for this one and a little tag piece for that one. And I did this across the board. So once I got the first ones done, I kind of just went and matched the second set to everything. So I don't have to rethink it. So you've done 6 cards, you're just going to do 6 of the same style. So it makes it super fast and super easy. That's the key to this. So you're going to put a little bit of tape on the bottom and then a little bit of foam tape on the top. All right. So tape on the bottom, a little bit of foam tape at the top. Give it just a little pop. And again, you want to hold both of your cards, you want to make sure your card is completely within the card so it fits in the envelope. Tack that one down. And again, a little bit of tape on the bottom. So tape on the bottom part. And let me cut 2 pieces of foam tape. 2 little pieces of foam tape at the top. Did I put them? Or on the bottom. Top. Top. Sorry about that. And then that's going to get at another little jaunty angle. Right about there. And then I'm going to show you, I didn't ink this tag yet. So what I do is, and the same thing for papers, so you just pad with they make a little pouncer. This one someone made for me, which is really adorable, but they make the little pouncers. These, when they get yucky, they just pull off and you put a fresh one on. Super fun, super easy. You can get re-inkers for these pads, so you don't have to keep buying new pads. And then you just basically rub along the edges, and it adds a little bit of, kind of finishes off. It takes away that little bald kind of chipboard edge. And it's the same thing with your paper. When you cut your paper mats out, there's a print on the front and a print on the back, but the paper itself is white. So the inside is going to have that white edge on it, and I like to take that off. So you basically just take this and go along the edge. You can add as much or as little as you want, but it adds a nice little finish to it. And it kind of gives it a vintage feel. I really like it a lot. There's a ton of different colors. You can use vintage photo. You can try something else if you have a different taste as far as that is concerned. And then we're going to take a little gold brad and put it in here. And then you want to be careful with the little legs so that they don't stick out the side. So I just take mine and bend them around, and I'll show you here closer to the camera just a minute. I bend them around so they're both kind of angling down like that. You see? And then I make sure that when I add my adhesive, you can use score tape on this if you want. I just put the adhesive over the brad to make sure those little legs stay in place. Make sure you cut off your little nubbies where it pops out of the chipboard base. So when you pop these things out, they have these little nubs where they connect. So you want to trim those off. I thought I did, but I still had little nubbies. And then find the little place where you want to put it, and you can put it straight this way. I think I'm going to put this one straight. And there you go. So you can see, same little card, still pretty. And then open it up and add your mat on the inside. The mat on the inside is the same size as the base mat on the front. So that's 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. There you go. And that leaves us with 2 little strips to put on the envelope. Now, the thing about mailing envelopes with paper attached to it is that you want to make sure these things are sealed down. So like just using a little bit of tape and having any little edges popping up is not going to be great, because it can catch on the machines when they're being processed and things like that. So you just want to make sure that it's, I send these all the time. I don't know that I've really ever had a problem, but one of my tricks is to use a glue stick. You can use wet glue if you're good with it, but my problem with wet glue on skinny things is that when I smooth it down, the glue oozes out, and then it has this little like shiny mark on the, yeah, I'm not good with that. So I use don't underestimate a good glue stick. Glue sticks are actually powerful glue. You should always have one on hand. They're really great backups for putting down mats. You can't use them to build construction stuff, but if you're decorating something, it's like keep an old magazine, turn over to the back, and just go down one way and down the other. So when you put it down, oops, I should have put the thick one down first. Make sure you guys can see this. So I'll do this for spacing. That one there. And see, and then it seals perfectly down. And then the same thing with the other one. Just go one this way and one this way. And the great thing about using old magazines, and you know, this time of year when you get all those catalogs in the mail, if you're not a magazine person, keep a couple of those free catalogs. And you can use them for this as well. So there's your little strips. They're nice and glued down. And then you can just take this and, you know, turn the page, and you're not going to worry about gummy stuff getting on your next thing. So then these just get tossed when you're done. So excellent, easy thing to do. We're going to do that for our little strips today. So now we have card 1 and card 7 are done. All right, so we're going to move on to the next A2 card. Now I've messed up all my card numbers. So you can't take me anywhere, seriously. I have 6 cards, and can I keep it together? No, I cannot. All right, so there we go. All right, so now we're going to go on to number 2 and number 2. So once again, I designed this one, and then I just picked out things, and I kind of did all these, all the patterning for this ahead of time. Before I started gluing things down, I picked out my cards and my chipboard and kind of put them in pairs. And then I went and I just found the background papers that went with each one. I knew I was going to have enough paper. So basically what I did was I took the set of chipboard, I took one set each of the small cards and one set each of the tall cards and flipped them around front back until I found that I could do 6 pairs. And I did. So you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And there's still 3 more. So you could actually make 3 more cards if you wanted to. But I was doing 6. So, but you have some left. And we're going to talk about these cards in a little bit. All right. So same basic idea. Your background mat, your card, and your little piece of chipboard. And so same. All right. So we're going to put these down real quick. Again, 3 3/4 by 5 1/4 for the base mat. 3 1/2 by 5 for the layered mat. That's what I mean by layered mat, the one that's layered on top. So there's one. So when I say these are easy, so not kidding. It is just basic matting, and then you're going to add a card and a piece of chipboard. Or 2 cards in the case of the first one. So just center it. And then again, a little bit of tape on the bottom. And a little bit of foam tape on the top. And then we're going to put that, how did I have it? How do I want this? I want this, no, I want it this way. Move it over just a little bit. So this is down, there's a little bit of pop. And then we're going to put tape directly on the back. This one does not have a hole in it, so there's no brad. No brad. And of course, if you have the little sticky, if you have the little pearls from Graphic 45 and you just want to add extra little stuff, this would be a great way to, these would be great cards to do that with. I'm going to set this off. Oh, no, I like it that way. So there you go. So now you have those 2, same style, super easy. Inside on this one. Now, we talked about decorating the envelopes. You can also add little touches to the inside. I like to get all the basics done and then kind of see what I have left over. I cut things out of one of the big 12 by 12 sheets. So on the second set of cards, the first set of cards, I did have full-size mats. On the second set, I didn't have all the paper left. If I just want to use one set of the 12 by 12s, then I cut them down to, so this one is actually the size of the top mat. So you can go either way. It just makes it a little bit smaller. So on the inside of this, I cut one of the little pieces out of one of the 12 by 12 sheets, and I'll show you that in a little bit, in a few minutes when we're done with these. So I waited until I was done and cut all my mats out to see what I had left. So I'm going to offset that a little bit. That'll make it kind of fun with a little border there, so that's fun. And then all we have left is our envelope. And you don't have to do the envelopes exactly the same. I did just because it was easier for us here. All right, so back with the glue stick again. So this way and this way. Really fast, make sure your envelope is right set up. Ask me how I know. So, like, how many times have I decorated an envelope only to turn it over and find out that I did it upside down? Ask my friends who receive upside down decorated envelopes all the time. Put that right down the middle. There you go. So that is card 2 and 7 done. Super fast. All right, so this one is number 3. Those stickies are popping off. This out of the way. So here's number 3. All right. So for this one, this is one of the 4x6 cards that I cut down. So it's 3 1/4. So it's 4 still across, but 3 1/4 down. Then I kept the bottom piece. Okay. So first we're going to put our mats down. And again, all the sizes are below for that. That's your base mat. Did I do this way? Yeah, I did. Don't be afraid to put the pattern side up. I know it's tempting to use all solids. I know I like it because it's so stark and it really showcases the card in front of it. But the pattern adds a lot of festivity. So as long as it doesn't overly compete. And the great thing about the patterns in solids paper from Graphic 45 is that the background patterns are pretty muted and repetitive, so they don't get too crazy. So so this was a 4x6 card that I cut the bottom off. This is 3 1/4 now. And I'm going to talk about these little corners here in a minute too. Because the corners on the first one, I went ahead and tucked behind just because of the design of that particular card. But for this one, patterning goes down a little bit lower. So my little strip design there is going to be a little bit different. Okay. So I'm going to go, it's going to be on this side, that way. All right, so for this one, there's just going to be a skinny strip. So this is going to show underneath. So I did round these corners, and I have a little tip on this rounder that'll make these tight little teeny kind of corners like you see on tags and things that are pre-done. And because we have this skinny little strip on this one, we're going to use a glue stick. Super fast. Put that down there. I should move it up a little bit. That's the other great thing about a glue stick is you have a little bit of time. All right. And I had taken this piece out of the center of this one because I really didn't want the whole thing was just a little much. Plus I wanted to kind of do matchy, and I had this cute little one from down here, so it was kind of like 2 little word phrases. And I don't think I got glue stick on my whole thing because it should not be peeling up. Let's be a little more gluey. All right. That's definitely gluey. All right. And then we're going to put a little bit of tape on the back of the chipboard. And if you want to make sure, you can use wet glue on the back of these, or you can use score tape as well. Put the little Marion Bright. So there's your suit. So you don't have to do the same size strips, but it's the same design. And then for this one, The bottom had these really pretty little hollies, so I fussy cut that out and put it on the inside. The bottom of this card had the same thing, so I fussy cut that out. When it works, use it. If it doesn't work, like that one tag top where the back side just wasn't really anything to cut out, then don't. This is another one of the, this mat is the size of the layered mat on the front because I didn't have enough paper to get everything done. The second set of cards. I really wanted to try to just use one set of the 12 by 12 paper so you could use the full second set to make a whole nother set of these same cards. So still plenty of matting on the inside. Looks really nice and pretty. All right, and then top, then all we have is our little envelope matting. And I just use scraps. I didn't write down the sizes of all of these. They range anywhere from like 1/8 of an inch to 1 inch. You don't need anything too super wide. Like this is an inch wide. So that's pretty big. I think this is probably 7/8. So just use whatever scraps you left over. Cut strips and put them on your envelope. Doesn't matter what size they are. There's no rhyme or reason on that. I think I just used tape on that and I wasn't supposed to, but shh, pretend I didn't do that. Pretend I used a glue stick. Don't tell anybody. All right. And then we're gonna do this. Okie doke. So there our first 6 are done. So this is card number 3. Card number 9. Fun? All right, so now let's do the big ones. But you can see what I mean. So once you design your first batch and think it out ahead of time, and since I've done it for you, you can just go grab a package of these and you're good to go. But you know, I'm using the Joy to the World Christmas collection to do this for Christmas cards, but you could do this with any of their collections. Get like their Bloom collection would make gorgeous thinking of you, type cards, things like that. So you could do the same thing. All of their collections come with chipboard. All their collections come with ephemera cards, and all of their regular collections come with the patterns and solids. So go get those same 3 things, and again, you can make another 24 cards and especially when it's something like Bloom, where you can do just a note or thinking of you or get well, or all those sentiments can apply to that same patterning. So I'm doing Christmas cards, but doesn't mean you can't do other collections with other cards in exactly the same way. All right, so number 4. All right. So now we've moved on to the A7 cards. This is, these measure 10 by 6.5. The standard size is like 10 by 7, but again, I bought these prepackaged. So if you're making your own, if you're making them to match mine, my measurements are for this, and I'm going to show you where I got the cards and all that when I get done. So just keep that in mind if you have to adjust. And remember, the way you measure is, 1/4 inch skinnier, 1/4 inch, shorter this way. So if this is 6.5 by 5, then you're going to have 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. So, and then you're going to go down another 1/4 inch to get the mat on top. So whatever size card you end up buying, but measure first, because there's no industry standard. Manufacturers make them however they want. They're just generally speaking small ones and big ones. I would like the craft cards are just a teeny tiny bit smaller. So if you need to trim your mats down, do. Now in this one, I was able to get 3 mats to line the inside of the cards of the second set of cards for the small ones, and I was able to get 2 of the 3 done in the big ones, but the other one doesn't. I didn't have enough left to mat on the inside, so not without dipping back into the 12 by 12 pad, and I wanted to save those to do a whole other set of these. So, of course, most of us probably have scraps sitting around that you could put a scrap piece of cardstock in there if you want to line it, but they don't have to be lined. I just think it makes them a little extra special. So this is done the same way. You're going to put the base mat down, and then you're going to put the layered mat on top. And I did that on purpose in this particular. The whole point of this was to be quick. So if you want to make like 2 sets of these and get 48 cards done, you can knock this out. You're cutting these masses not as, you know, as, whoops, as fast, putting them down as fast. You don't have to overthink it. All right. And then I think I did cut these down just a little bit. So, nope, this is the full one. The next ones are the ones that are cut down. So this one you're going to put at a little bit of an angle. And actually, you know what? I cut that one down to 5.5. I don't think I remember to do that on this, and it is a little big. Let me go ahead and trim this and I'll show you. So in this case, I don't want to cut into the patterning. So I'm going to take a little bit off of this side. And then I'm going to take it down to, and it doesn't have to be samey, but I do want to cut it down just a little bit so that it fits better on the, card. It's not quite 5.5 like that one, but that does fit a little bit nicer. And then I want to corner punch. And because I have all 4 corners done, you could use whatever corner punch you want. But in some of these, I only cut off one side, so I wanted to match their tight little corners. Or you could re-punch all 4 corners, even if you only cut off one side. But I have this really cool little corner rounder. It's from Kodomaru. You can find it on Amazon. I think I got mine at a retreat. It was a gift, which I love. But it has small, medium, and large rounding corners all in one little rounder, which is super cool. So the small one makes these tight little corners, just like these tags come from the manufacturer, which is great. So you can see how they're tiny. So, and then remember, if you're trimming off pieces, you have to go back and ink your paper so that it all looks nice and vintagey. All right. And again, we're gonna put some tape on the bottom and foam tape on the top. These tags are a little bit longer, so I put 3 little pieces. Whatever dimensional tape you use. This is a pretty thin dimensional tape. Some of them are super puffy. But in cases like this particular type of cards that we're designing, puffy's fine. So it should still fit in the envelope. As long as it fits in the envelope, you're good. All right, so we're gonna do our jaunty little angle here. Okay, and then, so in this case, I had a few little scraps left over, and I had enough of the blue left over. I could have just cut one long strip, but I was trying to preserve big areas to mat everything. So sometimes you want to put a long strip in, but you don't, like you have this piece or you have this piece. So I just have 2 pieces, and the chipboard's going to go over where they overlap, so you're not going to see it. So just because you don't have a length, as long as if you're going to cover some part of it with a piece of chipboard or anything, then you can fake it. I am a big fan of faking it. No one will ever know. All right. Just make sure they're lined up the same. All right. Now some of these are layered, like there's a piece here that's inserted into a frame. I popped it out and I inked around the edges just to kind of set it out a little bit because it was the same color. So I inked the edges of the frame and the edge of the mat. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't ink the actual frame itself. So pop that back out. And if you're worried about those popping out or anything, again, you can use score tape on the back, but I'm not too worried about this. It's a greeting card, not like a mini album that's going to be looked at 5 million times. So as long as you get it, make sure the words are right side up. So, again, ask me how I know. So ask all my friends, they'll tell you how many times they've received a card from me with an upside down sentiment on it. More than once. That's all I'm going to say. All right. And then find out where you want to put your little piece. Now on this one, I cut out a little piece from one of the sheets that's had the word joy. So on this one, because it's blue, I cut out a little piece that said glad tidings. Again, you don't have to duplicate things down to every last little bit, but I thought this looked really cute. So I did. So see, there you go. Fun, fun. And on this one, I guess this is the one that I did not have the liner for this one. It's the only large one that I didn't. All right, so we have the envelope. I'm gonna refresh my page here because it's gotten kind of gluey. What I don't want to do is lay this down where I've already used glue stick and get glue stick on the side that's going to show. That's the point of using these old magazines. They come in super handy. You just flip the page and on you go. Again, make sure the words are right side up. Make sure your envelope is right side up. All the things. Oh, and this one I'm going to center. So that was the other thing I was going to show you, is that you don't have to have it go edge to edge. You can also have a little border, which is equally pretty, depending on what size strips you have left. And there you go. Ta-da! All right, so now we have 8 cards done. All right, so 2 more left. Whoops, throwing things around. Slide all this out. All right, so for this one, the card is full size. So we're gonna go straight to putting our base mat down. Super easy. I don't know if I repeated this enough. For this one, the base mat is 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. All right, so 1/4 inch less in height and length, and then the gold piece was supposed to go on the inside, but you know what? It's all gonna match. But I'm fessing up to it. Pretty sure I wanted the front to be double layers of blue, but it'll all work. Oh, I got glue all over my hand. Get off. All right, there we go. Okay. Oh, don't do it. All right. Center that. Star piece. All right. And then we're going to put this at a, again, and you can put these straight, but putting them at an angle adds a little bit of interest, and I really like that because you can tell all the jaunty angles on all the cards. Again, tape on the bottom and foam tape on the top. Make sure that the postcard is all within the boundaries of the actual card so that it fits in the envelope. All right, and then again, I tried to match my pieces, so a piece with 2 brads that is vertical. And in this case, I chose the piece on earth that has the angels, so it kind of goes with the card on the flowers and the holly. So I did try to be matchy-matchy where I could. And again, you just bend the prongs down and keep them flat. They will bend like in a little V. Okay. So they're not sticking out the side. I know some people stick them out the side and they just use their like Tim Holtz scissors to cut them off, but then the brad legs are small and sometimes they can pop right back out again. So I'd like to use the whole brad leg when I can. All right, so there you go. And then make sure you put adhesive over the brad legs so they're extra sealed. All right, and then for this one, we're gonna go here. And then just like I did for the first card, only in this case from the blue sheet, so it would match, I cut out one of the stamps from one of the 12 by 12 sheets. Nothing is safe from me and being a cut apart. And then the other one I had the red Merry Christmas, and this one I have the blue. And again, you could leave it just like this, but I kind of like the Merry Christmas thing. You can put the Merry Christmas over here. You can do what you want. But I'm going to add it. Okay. Ta-da! So there you go. And then we do have a mat for the inside, which was originally supposed to be from the outside. But I think the gold mat looks good. So it's a great thing about these collections is everything kind of goes with everything. You can't really screw it up. All right, so now we have that on the inside, on the front, and then all we have left is our envelope. All right. And again, I didn't really get too matchy-matchy with the, make sure you're not putting it on top of anything sticky. With the strips on the envelopes, I just cut stuff from the scraps that were left. I'm going to show you kind of what I had left over. Get everything else designed first and done. I think my strip's a little bit too long, so we're going to trim that off. Don't cut your flap, and then we're going to re-ink it a little bit here. Okay. And then glue stick the strip, and then I think we're going to have to turn the page here. Little bit too long. Snip. And ink. Okay. You know what? It's still a little bit too long. I'm not super particular, but on an envelope, you don't want it to get caught in transit. Yep. I meant to do this, and I just used the glue stick. Oh, welcome to my life. Okay. So. So pretty. All right, last one. We're already there. Like I said, it's just doesn't take too long. 12 cards done, and enough left over with an extra set of chipboard to do another 12. So, all right. This time, let's put the inside piece on first. Then I won't have to worry. So yet again, the base piece on the front is the same size as the one on the inside, but you can go smaller if you don't have a lot of paper left. You can go, and this one is the size of the top mat. All right. So base mat again is 4 3/4 by 6 1/4, which makes the top mat 4 1/2 by 6. So just take a 1/4 inch off of both of those measurements and you're good to go. All right, so 6 1/4, 4 3/4, and then take a 1/4 inch off of both of those measurements. I get asked about how you figure out mat sizes all the time. So if you already know this, it's maybe repetitive for you, but a lot of people, I get asked often enough. I think it's good to go over it. All right, so this is 4 1/2 by 6, so 1/4 inch less. All right, so here we go. All right, so this is going to go. That's going to go there like this, and this is one that I did trim down just a hair. So this is trimmed. This is 4 inches across by 6, and we've cut them down to 5 3/4 just so they fit better. And the same thing with this one. And that information is down below. If I've cut any of these cards for any of these 4 by 6 or 3 by 4 cards, those measurements. The only measurements I didn't include were the little strips and stuff, because you can make those whatever you want. Like I said, none of them are wider than 1 inch, and none of them are. The skinniest one is 1/8. And anything like that is. Wait a minute. I don't want to do that. It's the great thing about ATG. Did you know you can just roll it off? This is what I get for talking and working at the same time. All right. All right, so what I meant to do was put tape at the bottom, film tape at the top, like we haven't been doing this all day. So one there, find our little jaunty angle here. That works. I like it. And then you're going to do the same thing on the card. And you can see I picked cards that, a lot of these I use the back side because look how pretty they are. And I wanted to use chipboard and stuff, and it was a little bit too much. But on a couple of these, I wanted that I use the postcards on the back. I wanted to have the little sentiment there. So this one is Merry Christmas. This one is I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. So we're going to do tape at the bottom and foam tape at the top. Our last bit of foam tape. And in this one, I went ahead and put it straight because I like the way that it looked. But you can put it at another jaunty angle if you want. And then this one also has the little piece in the middle that I popped out and inked. And you can see, so I had a little dangly tag. So I tried to match them up as best I could. And put your legs down. Get your brad legs all bent right. Add your tape. Make sure you don't have any little sticky over the edges. Okay. And I'm going to put this here. And this one was not a postcard, so I didn't add the stamp there. So what I did was on the envelope, I added the little cutout glad tidings, and on this one I'm going to add the stamp on the outside, which you can do. All right, so let's get a fresh page here, because these are big. So the glue stick I'm using is from Uhu, UHU stick. It's called Magic Blue. It's blue when you put it on, but when it dries, it's clear. Glue stick, one of the most highly underrated forms of adhesive, because everybody thinks of it as being like a thing, like the kind you use, like the Crayola the kids use in school. But they make glue sticks for like bookbinding and paper crafting, and this is one of them. Highly recommend. It is, if keep one on hand. How many times have you been crafting late at night and you run out of whatever paper adhesive that you use, and you have like 2 more mats to put down? Glue stick will work just fine. Just grab a old magazine or catalog or something that you don't mind getting sticky, and that way you don't have to worry about getting any glue on anything. Put it down, and when it's dry, it's not going anywhere. All right, one more piece. And on envelopes, it's especially important. If you're good with wet glue, go for it. I just know that when I do this, my wet glue oozes out just enough. Just make sure that it's really, all the edges are really super sealed, so that when it gets shipped, and this one is not super sealed enough, so that when it gets mailed, it's not going to get torn off. Now, because these have chipboard pieces on them, you're going to have to take them to the post office. You can't just stick them in your mailbox because they have those hard pieces inside. So you'll have to get your postal person to check them out for you. They're thin enough where they should go through the little slit, or as far as paying more or whatever, but you're going to want them to hand stamp them. So because the chipboard pieces won't go through the drum type where they wrap around stuff, they have to be done by hand. So that's the one side. And the only thing about this that makes that happen is the chipboard. So if you want to leave the chipboard off, you can, but it's what adds so much to the cards. So your choice. All right, so there's the last 2. So there you go. That is 12 cards. Super fast, super pretty. Ta-da. Front piece there. 12. Where's my other envelope? There. 12 cards. And all I used was 1 set of the 8. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 red, 2 green, 2 blue, 2 gold. All right. I used 1 sheet of each. I used 1 set of chipboard to make these 12 cards. And I used 1 set of the cards in here. This comes with 2 sets. This comes with 2 sets. You would need to get a second set of chipboard. You will have enough paper and stuff left over where you can make extra cards or make tags with these. Oh, one of mine fell out. So you can make little tags with the other 3, something, whatever you want to do with those. I just kept this at an easy thing that I could do doubles of. All right. So these are the 8. I'm going to move all of this out of the way so that it's not busy in the background and competing. All right. So on the front of these, they're like little tags, of which I think I used the front side of 2, that one and that one, I think. And then on the back side, they're all like little journaling kind of cards. They're so pretty. So I just kind of went through and I made pairs. So I'm like that's going to be a pair, that's going to be a pair. Then I'm going to use this one. And where's my 8th one? Oh, over here. And wait a minute. Which one did I not use? This one. Anyway, I did 4 pairs, and one of them was, where's the other Christmas card? I heard the bells on Christmas Day. Didn't I use bells? Aren't they all the same? Anyway, so I've made pairs so that they would all work. And so you could do, so this was going to be like these 2 were going to be the same. These 2 were going to be the same because this is on one card. This is on, this is on one of each card, one of each card, one of each card. And then the same thing with these. Oh, that's right. I only had to do 3 sets. That's why I'm screwed up on that. Anyway. And then the same thing on this. I went through and I kind of figured out pairs that were going the same direction so that I could do similar things. So I did like these 2 cards where I cut the tops off and I kept the bottoms. So that was, card to say like 1 and card 4. So these were 2 cards. And then, like these could be 2 cards. These could be 2 cards, and then your vertical ones, these could be 2 cards. So you just kind of go and get pairs, get things that'll work so you can use the same basic outline on all of them. Okay. So that's how I went through and matched up my cards ahead of time. And then I kind of went through and I did the same thing with the chipboard. So I found like the 2 little word pieces, the 2 vertical pieces, the 2 big pieces, the 2 tags, and then the 2 little dangle tags. And then these were the other 2 that I used. So you make sure you kind of have pairs before you start so that you don't have to completely revamp the design of the other one. And if you're trying to keep it fast and simple anyway, you can make completely different cards for every single one of them if you want to, but that was the way I did it to kind of keep things easy. Now there's 8 patterns in here. The back of all of these are solid. The front of the red. So this is what I used also for cut apart because there are words here and cute little phrases. There's little stamps. So I cut my mats out, but I made sure that I left an area that I could cut out cards and words and things like that. So I was careful where I cut my mats ahead of time. And then there's the stripe with the red on the back. Then the same thing on the green and the gold. You've got this patterning on the front. Stripes like you do with the red. Stripes with the blue, and then the blue also has the word cut out. So I kept a section of that where I could cut out the stamps, cut out the words, and I made my mats from the rest of it, which I used on the back side. And then the gold has this beautiful music piece. I love that sheet. And then one like the green with the little Joy to the World emblem on it. And the backs are all solid. Excuse me. So 1 of the 12 by 12 patterns in solids, 1 pack of ephemera cards, and 2 of these will make 24 cards. All right, so we took 1 set of paper, 1 set of cards, and 1 set of this, and we made all 12 of these cards. Now, as far as the cards and envelopes, I just went to Michael's. And this is what I had left. So after making one set of cards, you can see that I kind of kept the pieces from the red and pieces from the blue so I could cut stuff out. And you could even go, now that you know what you have left, you can cut more of this stuff out and add them to the inside of the cards or add them to the envelopes or do whatever you want to do. I just wanted to make sure I had enough to do all 12 before I went any further. But this is what I had left after making 12 cards. Okay, so there's some mats left, but not a whole lot of anything. It's certainly enough to be cutting strips and things to decorate your envelopes and all that. But I keep all your little scraps, because little scraps will go a long way when you're adding like little decor to envelopes or decor to the inside of your cards. Okay, so for the cards themselves, I got the 2 packs of the craft, which there are fewer craft cards in a pack. I'm not sure why. And then I got 2 packs of one of each size of the cream, and they have 50 and 25. The craft both have the smaller size, the A2 size, both is 25. But for some reason, the larger ones have 40 in the craft and 50 in the cream. So keep that in mind. There's envelopes and cards together. This is in the card making aisle at Michael's. Oftentimes they're on sale. Usually you can get a whole pack of these for $10 or under. So it makes a lot of cards. So like I said, I used just one of each of these, and I did more of the cream, but you can split it up however you want, or you can just do all cream. You don't have to go invest in all of the different colors. If you want to just get, 150 pack of these and a 25 pack of this, you can make a whole lot of cards with that. And this particular collection looks lovely on the cream. But keep in mind what paper you're using. Keep in mind if you're not making Christmas cards, you want to do this. Try this with one of their other collections. Something like the balloon would look good on both of these, but it would, it just gives it a very different feel. But keep that in mind. I know I make cards all the time, so getting the value packs for me makes sense, because I'm not just going to be doing Christmas cards. I always want to have these on hand, as you can see. So hopefully this has been helpful for you, and this will give you some great ideas for Christmas cards. Like I said, super fun, super fast, pretty little cards. See, I should have had these in front of me when I was trying to figure out how I made all the matchy, but you can see them all. So just really, I mean, they're gorgeous. The Graphic 45's paper is so beautiful that pretty much you're not going to go wrong as long as you cut stuff out, put it down. It's going to be so pretty. So there you go, 12 fun and fast and easy cards. In the blog post, you're going to have the sizes of the cards. You're going to have the sizes of the mats and anytime I cut down the 3x4 or the 4x6 cards, those measurements are there. The measurements I did not include were all the little strips and things, because again, you can cut them whatever size you want depending on when you put it down. I always put things down first and figure out, okay, like this was the only one I used a really wide strip on it. Like I said, it's 1 inch wide. This is 3/4 of an inch. But these are like 1/4 to 3/8, usually. On the envelopes, it can be anything you want. So whatever scraps you have left, I mean, they're just scraps, they're just strips. Cut a strip, lay it down. So it's not hard. If you want to know exactly the size I used, you're welcome to email me at Donna@MiniBooksRMe.com, and I will tell you specifically what they are. But I really think that you can just cut your strips and lay them down and go from there. So the main thing was just making sure that you could get all these cards done, and that you didn't have to try to figure out like how much did she cut and where did she put it, and all that kind of stuff. So I think you've got that. And there you have it. Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for joining me for this fun tutorial. If you make cards, especially if you make cards with a different collection, I would love to see them. I love seeing what you guys do with this stuff. You're so inspiring to me. I hope I've inspired you a little bit today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.